The first Saturday of the summer started like any other in Cypress Glen, quiet, sun-drenched, and deceptively peaceful. At least until the low rumble of engines rolled over the manicured hedges and symmetrical cul-de-sacs, scattering dog walkers and shaking wind chimes. A convoy of jeeps, brightly painted, top-down, and loud enough to rattle the HOA's cherished tranquility, turned onto Magnolia Loop. Gary Pennington, newly elected HOA compliance officer and self-appointed guardian of neighborhood order, stepped out onto his porch with a clipboard under one arm and indignation rising in his chest. He wore his usual weekend uniform, cargo shorts, a polo shirt tucked in too tightly, and the expression of a man perpetually smelling something unpleasant. Grinning face with smiling eyes, grinning face with big eyes, grinning face with big eyes, grinning face with big eyes. At the front of the Jeep parade was a flame-orange Wrangler with purple underglow lights, explicitly banned in Section 4B of the HOA handbook. Behind the wheel sat Karen Strickland, or as some resigned neighbors called her, Hurricane Karen. She lived 2 streets over, possessed a voice that could pierce concrete, and held a personal philosophy that rules were merely suggestions meant for other people. Gary marched down his driveway with righteous purpose. Karen spotted him immediately and grinned as she slowed the Jeep to a stop. "Morning, Gary," she hollered over the thrum of the engine. "Beautiful day for freedom, isn't it?" Gary adjusted his glasses. "Karen, this," he gestured broadly at the convoy behind her, about 12 Jeeps deep, "is not permitted. Noise ordinances, traffic obstruction, unauthorized event. Violation of landscaping harmony." "There is no rule about landscaping harmony, Gary." "There should be," he snapped. The other Jeep drivers idled behind her, some amused, some impatient. A few filmed the encounter. Gary felt the weight of possible viral humiliation settling on him like humidity. "This is a charity rally," Karen said, leaning an elbow on her door. "We're raising money for the animal shelter. You like puppies, don't you, Gary?" Gary did like puppies, but he refused to be emotionally manipulated. "You didn't clear this with the HOA." "Didn't need to. We're just driving through. One of your Jeeps is parked on a resident's lawn." Karen tilted her head. "Technically, it's 2 wheels on the grass, 2 on the driveway, which averages out to close enough. That is not how property laws work." Behind her, the Jeep in question lurched backward, tearing up a chunk of sod. Gary nearly fainted. "This neighborhood has standards," he insisted. "We have expectations. We have." "You have a stick up your backside the size of a flagpole," Karen finished cheerfully. A few Jeepers laughed. Gary's face went crimson. "This," he said, gripping his clipboard as if it were a badge of honor, "is a formal notice. I am issuing you a citation for—" A loud whoop blasted through the air as Karen revved her engine, drowning him out. "Sorry, what was that? I can't hear you over the sound of community engagement." "This is not community engagement," he shouted. "This is chaos. Same thing sometimes." She flashed him a grin, one part mischief, one part challenge. The kind that said she had already decided how this standoff would end, and it wouldn't involve Gary feeling triumphant. Gary planted himself directly in front of the Jeep. "You can't block traffic, Gary," she warned. "I am not moving until this unlawful rally turns around." Karen leaned out the window. "You sure about that?" He straightened. "Absolutely." Karen glanced back at the Jeeps behind her, raised her hand, and made a swirling motion. Engines rumbled. Tires squeaked. One by one, the Jeeps began slowly turning into the wide circular street of Magnolia Loop, forming a brightly colored ring of metal and horsepower. Gary blinked. What are you doing?" "Loop parade," Karen said casually. "If you insist on stopping us, we'll just go around you." And around. And around. The Jeeps crawled forward, circling Gary like cheerful, camo-patterned predators. Some honked. One played the Dukes of Hazzard theme. A tiny dog wearing goggles barked excitedly from a back seat. Gary spun in place, surrounded, his clipboard trembling. "This is harassment." "This is a charity rally," Karen repeated, "which you are now the centerpiece of. Smile for the neighborhood Facebook page." Before he could protest, someone snapped a photo. "Karen," he pleaded, dropping the stern voice and revealing the tired man beneath, "can't you just follow one rule? Just one." Her expression softened slightly, just slightly. "Gary, sometimes rules help. Sometimes they just keep folks from having fun. Today, we're doing some good and having a bit of fun. No one's being hurt. Except maybe that lawn." She winced as the sod ripper rolled by again. Gary sighed. His shoulders sank. "Fine. 10 minutes. Then the rally moves on." Grinning face with big eyes, grinning face with smiling eyes, grinning face with big eyes, grinning face with smiling eyes. Karen saluted. "Deal." The jeeps cheered, actually cheered. Engines revved triumphantly. Gary trudged back to the sidewalk, defeated but oddly relieved. As Karen's jeep passed him in the loop, she tossed him a small stuffed puppy with a shelter tag on it. "For your desk. Remind you to pick your battles." Gary caught it, barely, and despite himself, he smiled. Grinning face with big eyes, grinning face with smiling eyes, grinning squinting face, nerd face, cowboy hat face. Just a little.